The first assassin fired before the royal doors had even finished closing. The blue plasma bolt crossed the throne room like a streak of lightning. Queen Lysira Varel froze. Her royal guards were already dead. 6 assassins stood between her and the only exit, their black armor reflecting the cold blue light of the crystal walls. More waited on the balconies above, weapons trained directly on the throne. And between them and the queen stood one human. Ethan Carter, her human guard. He wore battered black combat armor, scratched from years of fighting on worlds the Galactic Council considered uninhabitable. No royal insignia. No medals. Just a small silver earth emblem on his chest. The assassin commander raised his weapon. "Human," he growled. "Move away from the queen." Ethan looked at the weapon, then at the assassins, then at Lysira, and smiled. The queen stared at him. "Ethan." He didn't answer. Instead, he slowly reached behind his back. The assassins tightened their grips. "Don't," Lysira whispered. Ethan pressed a tiny device against the wall. Click. Every door in the throne room slammed shut. The lights changed from blue to red. A mechanical voice echoed through the chamber. "Royal security lockdown active." The assassins looked at each other. For the first time, they looked afraid, because they had just realized something. They weren't trapped in the throne room with the queen. They were trapped in the throne room with the human. 3 hours earlier, Lysira had laughed at Ethan. "You're telling me humans don't have royal bodyguards?" Ethan stood beside her throne with his arms folded. "No. Then what protects your leaders? People who know how to shoot." Lysira smiled. "You humans are strange." Ethan shrugged. "You're the one who hired me." She looked across the enormous royal chamber. Hundreds of alien nobles filled the hall. Representatives from 17 worlds had come to witness the signing of the Galactic Defense Accord. It was supposed to be a celebration. But Ethan had noticed something nobody else had. Too many soldiers were watching the queen. Not protecting her. Watching her. His eyes moved across the room. A servant carrying drinks. A diplomat standing near the eastern balcony. 2 royal guards pretending to whisper. A musician whose hands were too steady for someone playing before royalty. Ethan quietly touched the communication device in his ear. "Something's wrong." Lysira turned toward him. "What?" "Don't look around." She immediately looked around. Ethan sighed. "I literally said don't. I'm a queen. People obey me. That's why you're easy to assassinate." Her expression hardened. "You're becoming very comfortable. I've been shot at 17 times this month. And I'm getting used to it." Before Lysira could answer, the lights flickered. Once, twice. Then every weapon in the room activated. The musicians dropped their instruments. The servants pulled hidden pistols. The royal guards turned their weapons toward the throne. Lysira slowly stood. "How many?" Ethan counted. 32 inside. A pause. "More outside." Lysira's face went pale. "Can we escape?" Ethan looked toward the sealed doors. "No." "Why?" He smiled. "Because I already locked them." The assassins moved. Ethan moved faster. The first alien charged. Ethan stepped aside, grabbed his weapon arm, and slammed him into the crystal floor. The second fired. Ethan pulled the fallen assassin into the path of the plasma bolt. The third came from behind. Lysira saw him first. "Behind you." Ethan ducked. The blade passed over his head. He spun and struck the assassin across the jaw. The alien crashed into a pillar. The entire throne room erupted. Plasma weapons screamed. Crystal shattered. Royal banners caught fire. Lysira ducked behind the throne as Ethan fought alone. But something was wrong. The assassins weren't attacking randomly. They were moving toward the queen. Ethan realized it too. They weren't trying to kill him. They were trying to get past him. That changed everything. He pulled Lysira behind a massive crystal pillar. "Stay here. You can't fight all of them." "I don't need to." She stared at him. "What?" Ethan looked toward the ceiling. Your throne room has atmospheric controls, right? Yes. Can you override them? Lysira understood. Her eyes widened. You wouldn't. Ethan smiled. I would. She rushed to the control panel. The assassins saw her. The Queen. Half the room charged. Ethan stepped into their path. And for the first time, the assassins understood why the Galactic Council had once classified Earth as a Level 1 combat civilization. They had thought it meant Earth possessed dangerous weapons. They were wrong. It meant something far worse. Humans themselves were dangerous weapons. Ethan's armor was damaged. Blood ran down the side of his face. 3 weapons had been destroyed. His breathing had become heavier, but he was still standing. The assassin commander approached slowly. You're finished, human. Ethan looked around. 30 assassins remained. Lysira was still at the control panel. The commander smiled. You protected her well. Ethan said nothing. You could have survived if you had surrendered. Still nothing. The commander raised his weapon. Any final words? Ethan glanced toward Lysira. She nodded. Ethan smiled. Yeah. He pressed the emergency switch on his wrist. The entire throne room went dark. The assassins panicked. Then the floor opened beneath them. Not completely. Just enough. Magnetic restraints shot upward from hidden panels and locked around their legs and weapons. Every assassin hit the floor. The commander screamed. What did you do? Ethan walked toward him. Built a better trap. Lysira stepped out from behind the control panel. You knew. Ethan nodded. I knew the attack was coming before they entered. Her eyes widened. Then why did you let them surround us? Ethan looked at the trapped assassins. Because I needed them all inside. A massive explosion shook the palace. Outside the throne room, hundreds of Earth soldiers emerged from concealed transports. The Queen stared at the security screens. Those aren't my soldiers. No. Who are they? Ethan looked at her. Humans. The assassination attempt lasted 11 minutes. The Galactic Council would spend the next 50 years talking about it. Not because the Queen survived. Because of what happened afterward. Every assassin was captured. Every traitor inside the palace was exposed. And the hidden fleet surrounding the planet was destroyed before it could attack. The galaxy finally discovered that Ethan Carter had never been merely a royal guard. He had been Earth's guardian commander. The man assigned to protect Lysira wasn't there because Earth trusted the alien monarchy. He was there because Earth had received intelligence that someone intended to start a galactic war by killing the Queen. And Ethan had been waiting. 3 days later, Lysira stood on the balcony of the royal palace. Millions watched across the galaxy. Beside her stood Ethan. The Galactic Council expected the Queen to announce a declaration of war. Instead, she spoke quietly. They came believing humans were primitive. The crowd fell silent. They believed our human protector would run when surrounded. Lysira looked at Ethan. He didn't. She smiled. He locked the doors. The galaxy erupted. But Ethan simply looked toward the stars. Lysira leaned closer. You knew you would survive. No. She frowned. Then why were you smiling? Ethan finally looked at her. Because they made one mistake. What mistake? They surrounded the Queen. He glanced toward the thousands of Earth warships appearing beyond the planet, without checking who was surrounding them. And that was the day the galaxy learned the truth about humanity. Humans didn't need to be the strongest species in the galaxy. They only needed one reason to fight. And when that reason was someone they had sworn to protect. They didn't run. They closed the doors. The throne room had gone silent. The assassins were gone. The broken weapons had been removed. And the Queen's palace was once again filled with royal guards. But Ethan Carter wasn't celebrating. He stood alone beside the enormous glass window, staring into the darkness beyond the planet. Lysira approached quietly. You knew. Ethan didn't turn around. Knew what? That this attack was coming. I suspected. You brought an entire human fleet into my system. Correct. You turned my throne room into a battlefield. Technically, they did that. Lysira folded her arms. And you still haven't told me why. Ethan finally looked at her. Because the assassins weren't the real threat. Her expression changed. What? He touched the glass. Far beyond the palace, thousands of stars filled the sky. Then several of them disappeared. Not because they moved. Because something enormous had appeared between them and the planet. Lysira stepped closer. What am I looking at? Ethan activated the display. A massive object slowly emerged from hyperspace. It was unlike any ship in the Galactic Alliance. No bright colors. No royal insignia. No visible weapons. Just a gigantic black structure shaped like a blade. Lysira's face went pale. That ship isn't in any registry. I know. Who built it? Ethan remained silent. Ethan. He looked at her. That's what I've been trying to find out. More ships appeared. Then more. Then hundreds. The palace alarms began screaming. A royal officer rushed into the chamber. Your Majesty. Lysira turned. What is it? We've detected an unidentified fleet entering the system. How many? The officer hesitated. Approximately 12,000. Lysira stared at Ethan. His expression hadn't changed. The officer continued. They aren't responding to communication requests. Are they attacking? No. Then what are they doing? The officer looked toward the window. They are surrounding the planet. Silence. Lysira slowly turned toward Ethan. You knew this would happen. Ethan shook his head. No. Then why aren't you surprised? Because I've been waiting for the second attack. Her eyes narrowed. Second. Ethan opened another display. Images appeared. Old photographs. Ancient human soldiers. Destroyed Earth colonies. Burned cities. A fleet disappearing into a red nebula. Lysira stared at the images. When were these taken? 217 years ago. And who attacked them? Ethan looked at her. The same people outside your planet. Lysira's voice became quiet. But that's impossible. That's what everyone thought. She looked back at the Black Fleet. Who are they? Ethan's jaw tightened. The Veya. The name seemed to mean something. Lysira's face lost its color. The Veya were destroyed. No. Ethan zoomed in on the oldest image. A human soldier stood beside a burning city. Behind him was a symbol identical to the one displayed on the enemy fleet. They weren't destroyed. He pointed at the symbol. They disappeared. Lysira stared at him. Why? Ethan looked toward the stars. Because Earth defeated them. The Queen's eyes widened. Then why are they back? Ethan didn't answer. The palace shook. Every window vibrated. A distant flash illuminated the sky. Then another. And another. The human fleet had opened fire. But not on the enemy. Lysira watched in confusion. Your ships are firing at empty space. Ethan nodded. They aren't firing. What? They're destroying the hyperspace gates. Lysira suddenly understood. The Veya fleet wasn't there to invade. It was there to make sure nobody could escape. Her voice dropped to a whisper. They're trapping the entire planet. Yes. Why? Ethan looked at her. Because they don't want the galaxy to see what happens next. A massive transmission suddenly appeared across every screen in the palace. A pale figure emerged. Tall, thin, almost completely covered in black armor. Its eyes glowed white. The entire palace became silent. The figure spoke. Queen Lysira Varel. Lysira stepped forward. Who are you? The figure smiled. We are the ones your human protector has been hiding from you. Her eyes moved toward Ethan. The figure continued. Ask him what happened to Earth 200 years ago. Lysira turned. Ethan said nothing. Ethan. Still nothing. The figure laughed. Ask him why humanity stopped talking about the First War. Lysira's expression hardened. What aren't you telling me? Ethan finally looked at her. The truth. What truth? He removed